Today I'm going to be trying out SeaFoam Spray Top Engine Cleaner and Lube. I'm going to be trying it on a 2010 Ford Fusion, but it claims to work for all types of 2- and 4-stroke gasoline engines. The idea here is to remove all carbon deposits from the engine block and to improve fuel efficiency, and we're going to test that. The basic procedure is going to be to run the engine to warm the intake. Then we're going to loosen and remove the intake boot from the throttle body. Then we're going to insert this provided specialty tube that will go into the intake right in front of the throttle body, but after the mass airflow sensor. Once we do that, we're going to turn the engine on. We're going to run it at 2,000 RPMs and spray the entire can into the intake. After that, we're going to turn off the engine, let it hot soak for about 10 minutes, and then we're going to go for a test drive. So let's first go through some parts. First of all, this is your throttle body, your air intake, and this is your mass airflow sensor. We're going to be sticking the tube nozzle right in here, so you're going to need your 8mm socket, and you're going to take off this pipe clamp, and then we're going to insert it in there and spray the entire can. Okay, your next step is going to be to take your 8mm nut wrench and take off your pipe clamp at the throttle body. So you have that loose enough, then you can remove the air intake boot. And if you look in there, you can see the plate that moves as you hit the throttle in your car and opens up and gives the engine more air. So we're going to measure to that so we can be a 1/4 inch off of that plate as per the instructions. So if you stick your tape measure in there, this might be a little bit difficult to see, but I'm measuring about 1.5 inches, 1 inch and 3/8. I'm sorry, 1 inch and 5/8. So we'll go a 1/4 inch from that and go down to about 1 1/4 inches for the measurement on the straw. So we just said about 1 1/4 inches, and here's the specialized straw that they give you with the kit. Measuring from the tip of the straw to the edge of the plastic piece, I'm getting about 1 1/4 inches right there. I'd rather be on the shorter side than the longer side, just to make sure that we don't foul the air intake plate. So we'll go with that. For the next step, we're going to insert the straw right into the air intake and the throttle body. We'll stick it right in there like that. And then you want to close this back up and put this boot back on here as best you can. Okay, so we have that snugged up close. It's not going to be perfect, but it's as close as possible. Then we can go ahead and start up the engine here and rev it to 2,000 RPMs. Okay, we started up the engine here, and you want to hold it to 2,000 RPMs. If you have an assistant here, that works very well. They can hold it for you, but if you don't, you're going to have to improvise. I'm going to rig something up here with an old rotor I have lying around and a piece of wood to hold the pedal down at 2,000 RPMs. Okay, we got the engine at just about 2,000 RPMs. Now we're going to start spraying the SeaFoam. You're going to spray the entire can and then stop. Now just about the whole can is gone. Turn off the engine. Now that the whole can is gone, we turned off the engine and we're going to let it hot soak for about 10 minutes. We're going to remove our straw. Move the pipe clamp. Tighten your pipe clamp. Tighten this up. Good and snug. And wait for 10 minutes. So after going for a test drive with the SeaFoam, I really didn't see as much smoke as I thought I would. You got the big puffs of smoke on the hard accelerations once I got out of the neighborhood, but not as much as I've seen online. So maybe if you let it hot soak a little bit longer than the 10 to 12 minutes that I did, you'll get better results, but not as much smoke. As for the throttle was much more responsive, and it even shifted easier in between gears. To test the miles per gallon, we're going to have to wait a little bit longer, and maybe next week I'll post an update video. But it did seem to get better miles per gallon on that test drive. So would I recommend SeaFoam spray as a top engine cleaner and lube? And the answer is I would. I'm not sponsored by SeaFoam or anything, but I will be using this again in the future, and I will be using it on my wife's car. I think the results were pretty good for what you get in a $12 bottle. If you found this video helpful, I just ask that you like the video and subscribe. Thanks, guys.